Shit.
What's happening, Nooch?
Fish, we in the middle of baseball season. I'm loving life. How about yourself?
I mean, it's not really the middle, but yeah, I
Hmm.
guess.
Okay, not quite the middle, but
What, we 17 games in already?
17 of 56.
Seems like we just did a podcast, and I was thinking the other day, LSU has had several, well, a couple, we've only been playing a few weeks, but a couple weeks with 5 or 6 games in them. We haven't had a game postponed or canceled, moved due to cold or whatever. It's been weird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We played five each of the last 2 weeks, which is a bit of a stretch for baseball, but shit, you can do it.
It's one thing when they're at the box, but we've been traveling around a little bit. Played over in Arlington and then played the Frisco Classic. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's good because that what that kind of replicates is a little bit like it's a regional.
Yeah. And it helps playing in these different types of ballparks, different size ballparks. They play different. Uh, you get a different atmosphere, which honestly, really with the teams we played, even playing DBU in Arlington, LSU fans dominated that from what I heard on the radio because thanks to the way these TV networks get to buy rights to it, I didn't get to watch them on TV. And honestly, you know what? I'm not even afraid to say it. I hope Kendall Rogers never purchased the rights to anything ever again in the rest of his life. But you know,
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do what he's doing, you need to get your shit together.
that's my thing, dude. Look, and I give him all the credit in the world. He's one of those guys who's out there really pushing college baseball and trying to grow the sport, and I thank him for that. I really do respect that side of him. But if you're not capable of producing, back off and let somebody who can produce, you know,
Or
to
wait
let.
until you practice on other schools. Leave LSU out of this, man. Leave the bigger schools out of this.
Yeah,
All you're
yeah.
doing is pissing them
Actually,
off. The largest, most rabid fan base in the country. You're pissing them off.
yeah, that's not
I
the
don't
fan
like
base.
you. Again, you did this 2 years ago. Luckily, in that one, that was in Austin, and I was able to go to the games. This year, I couldn't.
I really wanted to go to the game in Arlington, but I kind of had to make a quick emergency trip back to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. I actually did not get to watch a single pitch of any of those four games and not real happy about it, but is what it is.
It is what it is. LSU swept through it, and that's the important part. So when we first met preseason, seems like wasn't that long ago, but a lot's happened since
Well,
then.
we did one right before the night the Nichols game got postponed. So we did preseason and then we did
Okay,
in the middle.
that's a long time ago. But anyway, that a lot's happened since then. We were talking about who's going to be what position players. So the infield, we know Jared Jones is your first baseman, leading the team in home runs, got his sixth today, which Nooch and I both thought was that a foul ball? But we're not going to argue because the ump went like this, and that's
Yeah.
got us on the board early. Um,
Yes.
then
Even Jones didn't think it was fair.
I know he just stood there watching at home plate, like, well, that's going foul. Oh, anyway, but he's got six. He's a big old boy.
Yeah.
Uh, his partner over there, Daniel Dickinson, dude, what a pleasant. I mean, not really a surprise, but actually, yeah, I guess a little bit. It's a little bit of a surprise. He's a web gem waiting to happen, and he can hit the ball. He's just everything.
Tried to tell you that in the preseason, man. Don't sleep on Dickinson. He hit 20 bombs last year at UC San Diego. And look, there's a reason D1 baseball ranked him as like the number two or three second baseman in America coming into the season. Like he's legit. He's a stud.
Hey, he's amazing. Play he and Milam pulled off in that Frisco Classic, which none of us got to see live, but it was such a web gem. It wound up all over the place on the internet and Sports Center Top 10 and all this. Just an amazing play. One of the best plays. If I had a recent comp, I would say the Trey Morgan play in the College World Series, which of course carried a lot more weight,
Yeah.
but that level of defensive play.
That or maybe the JT's play in the Super Regionals against Kentucky deep in the hole where he did the Derek Jeter jump throw type thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's it's on that level.
You just have to try and throw in your man crush. Speaking of your man crush,
This guy.
speaking of your man crush, yeah, that guy right there. He hit a bomb today. He's hit four in the last 6 games, yeah. He
Yep.
started off a little slow, but he's been playing a great shortstop.
Yeah.
His shortstop ability is instinct. He's
Yeah. He's
he's
good.
not the rangiest guy, but he's already there because he knows where it's going the second it's hit, you know.
Really, he does. He's got great range. You just don't see it because he's making that move before the ball's
Right.
even contact.
Right. And got a good enough arm. That was the only thing I wondered. And the only reason I wondered it is because last year we saw him play second base. Well,
Right.
even Nooch can make the throw from second to first. Even Nooch.
What's that supposed to mean?
Dude, I've heard you throw. But but anyway, yeah, his arm has been more than adequate. And now he's coming around with the bat, which is fantastic. He's the monster.
Yeah, he's today was his first one lefty. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he's
Shout out to your man crush. Yeah.
it's my guy. That's why he's the background right now. I had a couple other people I could have threw up there, but
Mhm.
you know,
Definitely. We've had some impressive but let's go over to my man crush's former position, third base. Yeah, my man crush is not well, he didn't start today. He's kind of hit and miss. Is he gonna play or not? He did get in the game today, just towards the end of the game. LSU was up big and Milam was pulled, so he went in and played shortstop and promptly booted a ball, hit right to him. But yeah, my man crush is on the struggle bus.
he is, and I'm not writing him off because honestly, at this time last year, had we been doing these baseball podcasts, we'd have had this exact same discussion last year.
He was on the struggle bus.
He did not hit well early last year. And honestly, in the field, it really wasn't that pretty. It was
Mm.
boot city. So I'm not writing him off. I know SEC plays coming, and he's one of those cats that just figures out a way to flip the switch. And when the lights start shining bright, he's there.
Yeah, I'm
So
not giving up on him.
yeah, definitely not.
He wound up batting over 300 last year and
Oh
was
yeah,
terrible.
he was second on the team in the SEC, but as far as batting average, he was
Yeah,
second on the team.
terrible in the beginning of the year. So yeah, we're not giving up on him. He really came on strong at the end of the year and was an integral part of the team. And you'd like to see that, but these
But man,
early season games are meant to determine who's playing where, and we got dudes.
they
And
are.
Tanner Reeves is looking pretty good at third.
Hannah Reeves is hitting just under 300. He's at 296 right now. He's got fewer at bats than what Braswell does, but he's already got more hits, more RBI. He's got a bomb, an absolute bomb.
Yeah.
Scored 7 times. I mean, he's making a case. He's going to make it really hard to take him out of that lineup when things start. Push comes to shove. Tanner Reeves is making one hell of a case to be an everyday guy.
The one thing that I'll say is let's see what happens this coming weekend when we hit SEC play. Play Missouri, which I don't think Missouri is like they're probably kind of bottom half of the SEC.
I don't care. They were first in the SEC. I still don't count them as SEC, but technically they get to wear that cute little patch on their shirt, so I guess they are.
Yeah. But
Whatever.
they cut is that a home series?
Uh, shit, man. You know what? You're gonna make me a liar if you make me answer that question right now. I'm not positive. I think it is at home, but I'm not.
I hope so. God, I would hate to travel up to Como in March. That's a
I
miserable place when it's
travel
cold.
no matter what.
Mm,
Baton Rouge has been a bit chilly lately too,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
just pulled it up. Yeah, Missouri's home.
Missouri's home?
Yeah,
Oh.
no, we're home. We're
Oh, Missouri is
home
the
again.
home series. Okay. So it will
Yeah.
be in the box. Thank God. All right. So that's your infield. Um, let's talk about catcher. We kind of glossed over that. Before the season, we were kind of unsure who, we knew who the players were, but who's going to kind of take the reins. And I think we kind of got that at least maybe settled.
I think it's gonna be Hernandez going forward. Man, look, Aaron Beatty came in here with a lot of praise, but look, he really struggled receiving the ball. And I was on record the last several years when we had Milazzo. Give me the defensive catcher over the offensive catcher any day of the week.
Yeah,
Period.
people used to bitch about
I
Milazzo couldn't hit. Who
honest,
cares?
honestly, we had Milazzo for 3 years hitting below the Mendoza line, and you know what? Give me the guy who catches the baseball.
Yeah.
That's what you need your catcher to do. And Hernandez, we know Hernandez can hit. He's not really doing anything amazing right now. I mean, he's at like 270. He's got a homer as well, which is a pretty good shot.
Mhm.
But it's shit. Like I said, he's been on the Puerto Rico national team for 3 years, and those Caribbeans take their baseball serious.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
they do.
he's not a slouch. He played at Indiana State. He hit 20 bombs last year. So I think he'll hit well enough. But really and truly, what I want is I want the defensive guy. Last time we did one of these, I questioned his arm, but he sniped a couple of guys since
Yep.
then, man.
Looking
He's
pretty
actually
good.
got a pretty good arm. He's
And if
got a
you
better
don't know,
arm.
Nooch kind of glossed over Indiana State. We played at Indiana State. Whatever. Indiana State was a host team last year that actually
Yeah,
didn't get to host because they so rarely expect to be able to host that they have this thing going on in their town during that time, and all the hotels were booked. So they
yep.
weren't allowed to host because there weren't enough hotels, but they were a host team. So he's not coming from a slouch. He didn't hit 20 home runs at a slouch team.
Yeah, he's a damn good. I
He's
mean,
legit.
yeah, absolutely. So
Seems to be separating himself.
I think so. I think it's telling that Blaze Priester has gotten a few more at bats and a little more playing time lately. I think he's kind of at least making an argument to attempt to be the other guy. I think there's some competition there between him and Arabidi to see who's next. But I'm pretty sure Hernandez will be our guy going forward, and I'm okay with that. I think he's solid enough. He's not Milazzo defensively. He's not Travinsky offensively, but he's good enough at both to be our guy.
So, just FYI, this segment is brought to you by Lanyap Lures, and I appreciate Nooch hooking us up there.
Lazy B.
Yeah, the outfield is going to be brought to you by Lazy Bee Hay
Oh,
Farms.
okay. So
Quick update on Lazy Bee Hay Farms. Tried to burn the place down the other day. I didn't try to burn the place down. I
you did a
was
good job though.
luckily working from home, and I got a text from the mother-in-law. She texted our little family text group saying it's hazy outside, but it kind of smells like smoke. She lives a couple of miles away. And it was about lunchtime, so I called her and I said, "Hey, what's up? You need me to come get you?" She said, "Well, I just found out it's a fire and it's probably closer to you than me." And about right then, my phone went boop, boop, like you get the Amber Alerts.
Right.
Did not know this, but you get that for fires too, and it's on you.
They call that a red flag.
Yeah, well, this was evacuation. Get out.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. There was 30 houses right around us here. We kind of live rural, but 30 houses right around here had evacuation orders suddenly. And scary situation because of one way in and one way out. And Nooch has seen the picture, and I think put the picture on GameDayTigers.com if you want to look in the student union. There's a picture of a wall of flames that I had to cross the railroad tracks into if I wanted to get out, which meant I couldn't get out. Turn around. Here's my testimony for the week. Today's Sunday, so we'll call this church. Uh,
Okay. Go
Fire
for it.
department told me, "Sir, we're going to need a few minutes. Why don't you go back to your house?" And I'm scared to go back to my house. I want to see what's happening. And they said, "If the fire heads your way, we'll beat it there and we'll figure something out." I said, "Okay." Well, I went back home. I didn't go inside. I stayed in my truck because I had my little cat in there. And I parked next to my house. And I'll be honest with you, I prayed, because I was scared. I was very scared. Because like I said, that's my way out.
That's
And
how I can
everything
imagine.
else is fenced. I got a hay farm and everything's fenced and trees along the fence line. I'm like, man, I'm stuck. So I prayed. And when I stopped praying, amen, I looked over to my left at that field, and there's trees, 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 trees all up and down the fence line. and there's a little gap. I'm like, I got a four-wheel drive dually, and I believe it will fit through that gap, and I can go through that fence, and I can hit that power line, and I can take it to the highway if I need to. I didn't need to. I went back, but my fear was gone at that point. I know, all right, I'm not going to die. I got a
But
way out. Well, I'm going back to the tracks, and they had kind of gotten it under control, and they said, give us about 30, 40 seconds. We're going to move that engine, and you can get out of here. And I did, and thank God, because yeah, it was very scary situation, but we're good. We didn't lose any. I didn't lose a blade of grass. You know,
good. So,
the animals were all good.
we were definitely worried about you while it was happening.
Yeah, it was scary. I sent those guys some pictures, and they're like, "Dude, can we come
Sure,
get you?" I'm like, do you
sure
have
y'all can
a
figure it out, but Fish and I are pretty tight, texting me. So I knew what was going on. Was definitely worried about him. And hey, look, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. You're involved in the church. We're all Christians here. I just added a Bible verse to my arm. So hey, it worked out for you. Everything worked out great. Uh, Sucks you had to go through it and,
Yeah.
and, and feel that fear, but it all's well that ends well. And we're glad that you made it out. Glad all your animals, especially your dogs, because we're dog people, and I was worried about your dogs. Oh, but
Little Sancho was with me. Sancho the cat. He was with me. He's my ride or die. But yeah, the dogs. I told the firemen once I got out. The last thing I told them is they knew where I lived by then. I told them exactly. I'm the last house on the road. I said, "You get back there. You open every gate if you need to, because I got the dogs, I got the sheep, I got pigs, chickens, but my chickens can fly, so they're good. But yeah, didn't
it,
have to do all that. It worked out fine. Um, Nobody lost their life. A couple of injuries to the fire department. Fire department did a great job. They're not watching this because they're Bear County Fire Department, but shout out Bear County Fire Department because they
hey,
did a
absolutely.
fantastic job, and for the most part kept it on the other side of those tracks.
Hey, more power to those guys.
Yeah.
Fortunately, everywhere I've ever lived, that's never been an issue anywhere I've lived.
Yeah,
So
because you lived in the past where it rains, and now you live
yeah, yeah,
where
for
it doesn't rain, but there's nothing to burn. So
correct. I lived in the swamp where you really didn't have to worry about any of that. Like it was crazy when we had the COVID burn ban. It's like, why? It's freaking rains every other day here. I mean,
right, that's
or now out here we have a burn ban, but honestly, I look around, what am I gonna catch on
what's
fire?
going to
I don't
burn.
even have, I don't
Dirt
even have
doesn't
grass in my
typically burn.
backyard.
Right.
It's not even dirt, it's sand. I
But
mean,
anyway, that's Lazy V Hay Farm. We're doing good. We escaped. So that brings us to the outfield.
yes.
As I call my fields, I got left field, and then the driveway goes down the middle, and I got right field. So the barn is in center field. But
Okay.
the left field, let's start with left field.
Let's start. We have a pretty good left fielder this year, Fish.
Yeah, we do. Dude
Uh,
is I called Nootch before the season. I said, I'm tempted. I picked Braswell because I like to pick a middle infielder, and then they stuck him on third base. But whatever, it is what it is. But I was tempted to take Curiel, and
yeah,
I even told
Derek.
Nooch somebody's going to get him a good man crush, and our boy Hatcher Tiger got him.
Yeah, look, man, he's so poised. He's so composed. He hits like a veteran. I'm
Hmm.
sitting at 421 right now. Uh, he hasn't shown a lot of pop just yet, but that's definitely coming. He has one home run so far, but his approach is just absolutely amazing. Like he's so calm. He's so in the moment. He takes pitches. He hits it where it's pitched. He's leading the team in walks. I mean, he's a leadoff guy.
And
He's
that's the ticket right there.
yeah, he's getting on base. I mean, he's sitting with like a 588 on base percentage right now, which is elite. That's an elite number. I mean, anytime you get above like shit, really above 420, 430
Yeah.
or so, you're getting into
He's
greatness.
batting over 420,
500 here.
dude.
Yeah, he's
He's
hitting
batting
20.
over 420.
Yeah, he's hitting 421, 588 on base percentage. And I mean, shit, he's just the moment's not too big for him. He knows where he's at. He knows what he's supposed to do. He takes pitches. He hits the ball the other way. He keeps his hands on the inside and goes with it. or he's not afraid to turn on one if he needs to. He goes up the middle. He's he's hitting like a third gear guy.
That's the most impressive thing about him to me is wherever the ball is pitched, that's where he puts the ball.
Yeah,
So on the outer half of the plate, he's going oppo with it.
he's shit.
Bring
He's
it up the middle, he's going over your head with it, pitch.
you and I talked about comps, and I know you like to. He does have a little bit of that Dylan Cruz in him, but really, I'm going Antoine Duplantis. That's who he reminds me of. Antoine Duplantis was just a hitter, and that's
Certainly with the average so far,
he.
Antoine's probably a better comp and a little bit less power than Cruz as a freshman, but um, I think
But you know the
I think
powers.
his future is probably center field. I don't know. We'll see.
Probably. I mean, he's fast enough, and I mean, he looks like he plays a solid defensive left field. So I would think next year he probably does make that move over to center, but that's next year. We ain't worried about that right now.
All around great baseball player. Really fun to watch, and it's nice to have a real leadoff hitter because
Yeah.
we've had years where we didn't have that. We had years where even Dylan Cruz, wasn't really
Ah,
a
shit,
great
dude.
leadoff hitter.
He let Tommy Tanks bat lead off a couple of times. Cade Beloso, which I
Yeah,
mean, I know that's your high school boy, but like that's not
we
a
went
lead.
to the same. We went to high school together. No, we went to the same high school.
Really, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Hadn't heard you mention that one before. So, but Beloso did hit lead off. Cruz did. Morgan did. White did. JT did. Everybody did. And now I think Curiel's more of that guy. He's going to see a lot of pitches. He's going to walk. He's going to get on base.
I
And
love that he works the pitchers, man.
but that's what you want. I mean, look, growing up, I was a leadoff guy, and that was my job. See as many pitches as possible, get on base. Don't care how you get on base, just get on base and see pitches. So that's what you're looking
Did
for
you
in a
say he leads the team in walks?
yes, by
Yeah,
far.
and he's the leadoff guy. That's exactly prototypical. That's your leadoff
Especially
guy.
considering you have a guy like Bear Jones on the team who's going to get his intentional walks or his unintentional intentional walks where they're just not going to throw him a strike. But I mean, yeah, Curiel's at 21 walks right now. Bear Jones is next with 15.
I
And
like what
their
we're doing with the
intentional turn.
lineup because we actually talked about that in the previous podcast where, who's going to protect Bear Jones. Well, yeah, the way the lineup's sitting right now, anyway, you got that guy batting in front of Bear Jones. You really, I mean, he's got over 50% of the time he's going to be on base.
Right.
And Bear Jones is coming up behind him, leading the team with 6 home runs.
Yep.
So you got to be careful there. But then
And
you got
you got
Daniel
Dickinson
Dickinson
behind
coming
him.
behind him, who's
Who got
second
five?
on the team with 5 home runs. Uh, this is fun. This is fun so far. But let's
The team's looking good, man.
they do look good. They do look good. Dropped that one game to Omaha, played the worst game against North Dakota State and somehow won. But hey, overall, team's looking good. But let's talk about Stanfield in center field.
Stanfield's fast.
He's yeah.
he's
Water's
he's
wet. Yes, it is.
good God, he's ridiculously fast. And you know what? He's hitting the ball. He's sitting at like 320, I think, right now is his batting average. He doesn't have a lot of pop, but shit, man,
Oh.
him too.
He's
His
batting. He's like a second leadoff hitter.
He is because you're actually sitting him at the 9 hole
Yeah.
lately, and his on base percentage is 452, which
Yeah.
on any other team would be considered elite, but he's like fourth or fifth on this team. I mean, we're getting on base a lot, and I'm seeing a lot of complaints about the number of guys who are leaving on base, and it's like, well, you know what? We're scoring runs, but
That seems to have improved though,
the reason we're leaving guys on base is because we're always getting guys.
because there's guys on base. You're not going to score everybody that gets on base.
Right. I mean, honestly, we got several guys who are shit above 400. We got several above 500 that are all just they're on base. Stanfield's on base. He's ridiculously fast. And surprisingly, he's not stealing a lot of bases. If you had to guess right now, who do you think leads the team in stolen bases?
Um, Dickinson.
No, actually, it's Jake Brown is first. And
What? He got
yes,
thrown out today.
and you want to know who's second on the team in stolen bases?
Who's that?
Bear Jones.
That's laughable. Both of those are laughable, but really,
I
Bear
did.
Jones.
I mean, yeah, yeah, Brown's got four, Jared Jones got three. Nobody else has more than two.
Huh.
So
You know,
it's interesting,
it's
but
interesting because LSU is manufacturing runs this year, and
they
people were saying, "Well, it's because we have to. We don't have pop." And then boom, here comes pop. We started hitting. We hit a lot of home runs this weekend, dude. We
we're
hit
at
six on Friday night.
we're at 25 bombs on the
Hit
year.
six on Friday night, and Bear Jones didn't hit one.
No, Bear didn't, but both Pearson brothers did. So,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
but this shit, we're at 25 for the year right now, which isn't a bad number. I mean, we're not the gorilla ball days are over, so that's not gonna happen again. But 25 before SEC play starts, and honestly, the weather has not been very conducive to
No,
getting.
no. I mean,
So
we've had
with
some cold weather in Baton
and
Rouge. That means the wind's blowing in probably, and
at north winds, with not to get too baseball geek, but with cold weather, the ball gets harder. And honestly, you know what? Throw a marble against a brick wall and throw a tennis ball against a brick wall and tell me which one bounces back the furthest.
yep,
I mean, a cold ball just does not, it doesn't have the trampoline effect off the bat that a warm, humid ball does.
yep.
Uh, and really, the power is a little bit down this year compared to years past. But if you go back and look at some of our game threads from the last few years, I was constantly saying that it was unseasonably warm, winds blowing out, and we didn't get that this year. So the
Not yet. No, it's coming.
winds have been blowing in, and the temperatures have been colder. I mean, Baton Rouge got more snow than Anchorage, Alaska throughout most of the winter, which is ridiculous, but they did. So that weather's about to shift, man. The time's changing this weekend. It's coming. Spring is in the air. It's going to warm up. That wind's going to blow out, and the power is coming. It will be there. It's going to show up. Don't worry.
So let's spend a couple of minutes talking about left field or right field. I'm sorry. And the reason I want to talk about right field is because before the season, we were like pretty sure who was going to play center, pretty sure who was going to play left. We weren't sure about catcher. We weren't sure about uh, right field.
Yeah.
And right field, I think we're starting to get an idea. We are
Yeah.
not into SEC play yet. So this
Right.
part of the season is when you figure out who's who, or you try to, and you start to develop your lineup, and you also start developing your rotation on the mound. But we'll get to that. We're gonna have about 5 or 6 minutes. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But
But right field, it looks like it's Jake Brown.
coming
That's
around to that, basically.
Jake Brown's the guy who I said in the preseason that I thought would be his year finally. I
And
say
I
finally.
thought maybe Ashton Larson, but
Only
I
his
was wrong
season.
again.
Still, that's why you need to listen to me more often and quit having your own opinions and just listen to mine. So, but Brown's hitting right under 350 right now. He doesn't have a homer yet, but him too. He's another guy. He's on base. He's on base percentage is right at 400. He's got a few RBI. He's a good base runner. He's scoring runs. He's a solid defensive player. Like I
Playing
say,
pretty well defensively, yeah.
yeah. So he's the guy. Um, Ashton Larson has really struggled, but shit, Josh Pearson's having man, Josh Pearson's having a hell of a start to the year.
You know,
Uh,
we talked about the play Dickinson and Milam at second base and shortstop, which was not a double play, but just one of the smoothest plays you'll ever see in that Frisco Classic. But you know, in that Dallas Baptist game, I believe it was, Josh Pearson started one of the greatest plays you'll see as far as a relay from the outfield and throwing somebody out at home.
I did see the highlight of that. Yes.
Actually, I think it wasn't that game. I don't know what game it was, but it was a beautiful play. It was basically a game where we were in peril. That's why I say it wasn't a Dallas Baptist game, and it saved the
Oh,
game.
but it was in Frisco. I want to say that was the Nebraska game, if I remember right.
Okay, yeah, because it was a game where it was pretty close, and I'm like, wait a minute, just a beautiful relay.
And Pearson's been that guy, dude. He's been as clutch as they come. He's made great clutch defensive plays in the past. For whatever reason, when the calendar flips to June, and now he's hitting now. I mean, he's sitting at He's hitting like 314 right now. He's got a couple of bombs. He absolutely destroyed one today onto the roof of the Marucci Center.
Like the
So,
Emancipation Proclamation, four score, grand slam.
yeah. So, I
Couple of
don't know.
broken clay tiles on the
Yeah, I
Marucci
don't know if
building.
they take roofing repairs out of his NIL deals or whatnot, but I'm sure he broke at least one because I mean he cleared everything.
Yeah.
It was to the right of the Intimidator, so he didn't clear it. But had it been,
Oh, had it
well,
been
he would have
more
cleared
towards
it.
the right center field, he would have cleared the Intimidator.
Yeah, yeah, he launched it as soon as it was off the bat. You knew that was going. I was like Greg Dykman type home run. I
It
mean, that was
really was. And
yeah,
Josh has that in him, but his brother has that in him too from the
yeah,
right side. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Which his brother, man, look, you know, talk
He
about a
hit
guy.
one off the scoreboard the other day.
And he's a guy, 9 total at bats. He's already got 4 hits. He's got a double. He's got a homer. He's got 4 or 5 RBI already. He scored several times. He's another one that, as the season progresses, and you start looking for guys who are going to get extra at bats, get a few base hits here and there, pinch hitter type guy. John's another one who sucks. He plays first base because that means he's not going to take over
Yeah,
for
he's
Bear,
not taking Bear
but he's
Jones.
going to get some playing time. He's going to get some at bats.
Yeah. Let's that's around the outfield, around the infield. Let's talk about the pitching staff because that was a we had some questions. We didn't really have any doubt who was going to start, but we were maybe concerned about, or not concerned about, but we're questioning, okay, who's going to be the Saturday guy? Is it going to stay Ianson or is Shores going to take over there? But let's just say right now, Kate Anderson's your Friday night guy, or none.
Yeah, definitely. Ianson, I think, has shored up his Saturday role.
If
Uh,
he hadn't before yesterday, he did yesterday.
that's the way he locked it in. And man, look, Shores, you and I talked about this. I'm slightly disappointed in Shores. I was expecting a little bit more out of him than what he's given us. But that's our Sunday guy, man. Like,
Yeah.
if we get him as our Sunday guy all year long, shit, when's the last time we had a Sunday guy?
Most teams don't. And I mean, you're talking about a guy in Shores that's coming off of Tommy John. He's just getting back to it, just getting stretched out. I think he's been doing pretty well. I know he's had some struggles, uh, but for a Sunday guy, like you said, but
I
if he
mean,
was our Friday night guy, I'd be worried.
you got to go back to who was it? Was it who was there at the same time as like McCune, Eads, shit, who was the other one? Was that wasn't Lang? That was shit, who was the Friday guy that year? But I mean that's how long ago you have to go. That was the year we lost to Stony Brook. That's how long it's been since we had a Sunday guy.
Here we lost to Stony Brook was Gossman was the Friday night guy,
Gossman, that's
right?
the one. Gossman was the Friday guy. You had Gossman, McCune, and Eads as your 3 guys. That's the last time we had 3 legit starters.
Yeah.
You know, beginning of 23 before Shores got hurt. And Shores was the Sunday guy then too. So, uh, you know, if he's our guy, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm good with him as a Sunday guy right now. Ianson struck out 15 yesterday in 7 innings, threw 95 pitches and probably threw 25 in the first inning. Had
Yeah,
a rough first inning. Came
yeah,
back and 95 pitches through 7 with 15 strikeouts. Get out of here.
yeah. And then, man, you know, I'm okay with the bullpen. You know, we've had a couple of different guys got playing time. I think Casey Evans is starting to kind of see that he's going to be that guy we depend on late in a close game.
Mhm.
He's the team in saves. We haven't seen Gavin Guidry yet. I don't know what his injury
Got a
was.
back injury.
It was bad. Okay, all I saw was non-throwing. I did see video of him playing a little long toss in the outfield this morning. So
Okay.
he's at least throwing the baseball. I don't know where he's at rehab wise, but Casey Evans is probably your closer. Zach Cohen's pitched in a couple of big spots. He's the guy who came
Good.
over from Wofford. He's had a save as well. He's Chandler Dorsey. We saw him close out today. I mean, man, until we start seeing him against big time hitters,
Schmidt.
I like where we're
Schmidt's
at.
going to
Yeah.
be kind of maybe your midweek starter.
Schmidt's gonna be your midweek guy, get you some long relief here and there. But I mean, shit, right now, as a team, opponents are only hitting 185 against us. Team ERA is like 302. I don't care who you're playing in today's day and age with these bats and the balls, and 302 is a good ERA to have going into conference play. And I mean, yeah, that number is going to go up once you start facing SEC hitting, but that's still, we're off to a good start right now.
Yeah, LSU's looking good. LSU's number one team in the country according to what D1.
D1 baseball.
Tennessee fans are all pissed about that because they don't realize it's March and nobody cares.
Yeah.
With that said, you just mentioned heading into SEC, and that's what we're doing this weekend. Time change today,
Yeah. This morning.
and it's that time of year. It's SEC baseball. We're about to have some good weekends. We'll have a midweek game this week against Xavier.
Xavier this week, midweek against Xavier, and then SEC play starts Friday against Missouri at the box.
Yeah, at the box. That's important because you do not want to go to Como in March. I can tell you that it's cold. But hey, Nooch has been faithful. He's been starting the game threads, whether we are available to be in them or not very often. Hectic week this week. But hey, come join us at GameDayTigers.com. Hit us up. We're not doing chats yet for the baseball games, but if we start rolling in SEC play, we may have some weekend chats we have to
Yeah,
fire up.
especially once the big series come
Yeah.
around. We got Texas week, the second week of SEC play. I think we'll get a little action for there. We play all the big dogs, Tennessee's gonna come to town. We play all the ones that we love to play. So it's gonna heat up. We'll start seeing some action in those game threads. And
Oh, and don't forget too, as Texas residents, Nooch and I would just like to point out that Texas A&M was number one prior to LSU being number one, and then they lost five in a row.
against a bunch of schmucks.
Yeah, stupid Aggies. But anyway, y'all come join us at GameDayTigers.com. Hey, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.